Welcome to my channel Phi Concepts CHM. In this video we are going to see about transistor multivibrators. Multivibrator. Multivibrator can be of three types: astable, monostable, bistable. So these are regenerative circuits. Their output is oscillating. They can produce square waves or square pulses. Now, a multivibrator has two definable states or a quasi-stable state. Quasi-stable state can be said to be not a permanent state or not a stable state. So, it has two definable states or quasi-stable states between which the circuit switches. It is used in timing applications, in digital control applications, in binary computers. This slide gives a summary of all the three multivibrators. An astable multivibrator, it doesn't require any external input signal and it produces square waves at the output. A monostable multivibrator, it requires an external input and it produces pulses at the output. A bistable multivibrator also requires external inputs and at the output also they produce square waves. Now we will see about astable multivibrator. This is a circuit diagram for an astable multivibrator. It is also called as free running multivibrator. That is, the circuit switches back and forth from one stable state to another without any external triggering. This is a symmetrical astable multivibrator. If you will notice, the components of one half of the circuit is equal to the other half. That is, if we cut it in between, in the middle, you can see that the components on this half is equal to the components of this half. So RC1 is equal to RC2, R1 is equal to R2, C1 is equal to C2. These transistors are also the same. Transistors T1 and T2 form pair of matched transistors. Due to circuit imbalance, one transistor is on and the other is off. The astable or the free running multivibrator alternates automatically between the two states and remains in each for a time dependent upon the circuit constant. Hence it is just an oscillator since it requires no external pulse for its operation. Of course, it does require a source of DC power. Because it continuously produces square wave output, it is often referred to as a free running multivibrator. Let now assume that T1 be on and T2 be off. So now the capacitor C2, it starts charging towards plus VCC through RC2 and T1. So the output of T2, which we can denote as VC2, which will be high, and the output of T1, it will be low. Meanwhile, C1 has previously charged to plus VCC when T1 was off. Now as voltage at the base of T1 is rising due to the charging of C2, so T1 starts conducting, thereby providing a path for C1, which is already charged. Now it will discharge through R1 and T1. Meanwhile, C1 has previously charged to plus VCC when T1 was off. So as now C1 is connected to the base of T2, a sudden negative pulse is given to the base of T2. So T2 becomes off. That is whatever we had assumed. T1 is kept conducting by the base current provided from VCC through R2. By now charging of C2 has stopped. It has completely charged. The length of time for which T2 is held off is determined by the time constant of discharging of C1 through T1 and R1. Approximately 5 R1 C1 time constants are required to again make T2 on through RC1 and T2. Quickly now C1 charges through RC1, thereby increasing the voltage at the base of T2. As T2 becomes on, the capacitor C2 discharges through R2 and T2, thereby making base of T1 negative. As T2 becomes on, capacitor C2 discharges through R2 and T2, thereby making base of T1 negative. T1 becomes off, that is VC1 becomes high. C1 recharges through RC1 and T2. Hence the circuit oscillates, giving a square wave which is indicated by this VC1 and VC2. We will derive the time period and the frequency of the waves. Consider VB2 during the discharge time of C1. So VB2 is given as VCC minus IC1 into R1. Since the capacitor charges up to plus VCC, the initial discharge of IC1 is VCC plus VCC upon R1, and since the current decays exponentially with the time constant of R1 C1, we will write down IC1 as 2 VCC upon R1 into e raised to minus t upon C1 R1. We can substitute this in this equation of VB2. So that is this equation. We get VCC minus 2 VCC upon R1 into R1 e raised to minus t upon C1 R1. Let us assume that the transistor will switch on when VB2 is approximately 0 volts. Actually it is 0.6 volts for a silicon transistor and 0.2 volts for germanium transistor. But this value is quite small compared with VCC. So we will take it as 0. So we are substituting VB2 as 0. So 0 is equal to VCC is taken common. So 1 minus 2 into e raised to minus t upon C1 R1. VCC cannot be 0. So this e raised to t upon C1 R1 is equal to 2. Hence the off time for Q2 and the on time for Q1, we can write it down as capital T2 is equal to R1 C1 into ln of 2, and that comes as 0.693 into R1 C1, and the off time for Q1 is denoted as T1, that will come as 0.693 into R2 into C2. We can find the total period of the wave, that is we have to take the sum of T1 and T2, and that is capital T is equal to 0.693 into R1 C1 plus R2 C2. Now if we are considering a symmetrical multivibrator, then R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R, and C1 is equal to C2 is equal to C, with the outputs at the two collectors having the same waveforms but out of phase with each other. Now since R1 C1 is equal to R2 C2, this equation will reduce to capital T is approximately 1.4 into RC, and then you can find the frequency of the wave, that is 1 upon T is equal to 0.7 upon RC. Thank you for watching this video.